I started writing for a publication in college sa UP Diliman for the Collegian. And then I became a writer and then an editor for one of the sections. And then when I left UP, I said, uy, okay pala maging jarista, maging journalist, maging reporter. So, nag-apply ako sa mga newspapers, nagpadala ako ng resume. Ang sumagot, the Manila Times. And the editor-in-chief at that time was Malumang Ahas. They were kind enough to take me in first as a junior copy editor, copy taster, correcting grammar, stories, etc. And then one day, Chit Estela, the late Chit Estela, she took me aside, she called me and said, I think it's time for you to go out into the beat. Una, ayaw ko pa. Ma'am, okay na ako dito eh. I'm comfortable. Ganyan. Tapos sabi niya, if you want to make a career in journalism, if you want to start a career, you have to go out into the beat. So, the next day...
Anong beat ang binigay sa'yo during that time?
So, the next day, reluctantly, I went to work. I went to my first beat, which was the Western Police District, now the Manila Police District. So, Manila agad, Western agad. At that time, that was like the prime police beat. Hindi ko alam kung bakit nilagay ako doon. So, yun, it all started. And then, 2 years later, nakaaway ni President Erap Estrada yung Manila Times. So he threatened to file a libel suit. I lost my job at that time. Many of us left.
And sorry, that was the first time that you experienced losing a job. Yeah. Nang hindi mo ginusto. Yeah.
Oo, na hindi ko ginusto. After 2 years in GMA, I left because I wanted to take care of our son, because my wife had an offer sa isang industry na medyo malaki. So we said, alam mo, it would be stupid if we didn't take that offer. And then after another 2 years, my wife decided, she said, ayoko na. Sabi ko, okay, I'll look for a job. So again, I cast a wide net again, and then nag-respond ang ANC, the ABS-CBN News Channel. They were setting up a news website in partnership with yahoo.com at that time. So they wanted a managing editor. So I took that job na. I went to ABS-CBN and I got a close look at the systems, being desk editor. And then Ma'am Jing, si Jing Reyes, si RER, said put me in charge of the central desk. The learning curve was also very steeper than when I first transferred to TV, but I had a lot of support from people. We wanted to try out so many things, so many essential things in the newsroom. And then after a year, I went back to ANC as the managing editor. Siguro that went on for maybe 2 years. And then my last job in ABS-CBN was head of the Global News Bureau. And then finally, yun na yung nangyari last year. Because the franchise wasn't renewed, the company had very little options and it had basically no choice but to retrench people, and I was one of them. There were a lot in the newsroom, and it cut across talaga eh. We're talking about the cameraman, the people in production, people in the desk.
Were you really expecting that you will be one of those that will be retrenched? May mga paunang sabi sa inyo?
That's a good question. When the first wave of retrenchments happened, some of us, including myself and some of my friends there, I think we were feeling some sort of survivor guilt. Parang bakit sila, hindi na lang ako, or yung mga ganun, parang oh no, I'm here but many are gone. What's going on? It was really a tough time mentally, diba? And you have to realize that we still had the job to do, so it was so very hard to concentrate on what we had to do, and it was very tough mentally.
Pero sir, bring me back to that day when that paper was issued to you. Was it sent verbally? Was it sent via email?
I've been trying to figure out ano yung mas masakit, yung actual retrenchment or the day that the franchise was turned down. Kasi when the franchise was turned down, I really felt I was feeling really numb, but I was feeling really bad because I was thinking, number one, I was thinking of myself and my family. Parang because of the franchise not being renewed by Congress, what is going to happen to us? At the same time, I was also thinking of everyone. And many of the employees there are breadwinners. And they're very hard workers, some of the best in the industry pa siguro. And I was thinking of them, parang what will happen to them also. And in a sense, what will happen to all of us. The day that I was told, it was verbal. Thank God for that. Kasi parang so cold naman pag letter lang, di ba? Parang cold. Diba? And it was my immediate superior who informed me, and we had an emotional kind of talk. Yeah, some sort of reminiscing na rin na anong pinagdaanan namin and what we wanted to accomplish and what we still had to accomplish pa. It was only on that day when I was informed that I was being retrenched. Yun na, suddenly it hit you. Parang sampal talaga siya. Kick in the head, diba? A punch to the gut, nawalan ako ng hangin. Parang I had to do something. I have to do something. So that's when I tried to figure out not just what to do next, what job to do next, pero down the line na kasi I wasn't getting any younger eh.
And actually, that's my next question, sir. I will, forgive me, have to ask this very hard question, no?
Sure.
How is it for you? Kasi of course, the younger ones, pwede silang humanap ng ibang industriya or mas may energy pa sila para maghanap kung san-san. For the more experienced ones, like you and the rest of them who are also experienced, how was it for you? Ano yung iniisip nyo? Saan kayo pupunta after?
That's a great question, Paul, no? Kasi when I first lost my job with the Manila Times, I was younger. So I was bolder, ano lang yun, parang, okay, this is a temporary setback. Let's just look for another place and then just keep on doing what you set out to do in your career, which is, to be a good journalist, to write stories that will impact people, and to write stories that you think will change people's lives and how people look at their government. When the ABS-CBN retrenchment happened, yun na, parang I'm not the same person I was before when I first lost my job. Definitely not. I had to accept that. I cast a wide net again looking for a job. Pero the tragedy was because we lost our jobs during a pandemic of all times. Diba? And talagang the government is supposed to provide livelihood, not take it away from the people, diba? Because it was a pandemic, many news organizations were cutting costs, downscaling. Hiring was not their priority.
On my episode 2 nung Life After Media, I discussed about the industries kung saan pumupunta yung mga journalists when they leave media. So they go to PR, communications, branding, academia, or they go abroad. Kayo, sir, where did you go after? What was your first idea? Saan ako pupunta after nito?
Yeah. Another great question. Even before I left ABS-CBN, during my career, I've always thought about teaching. And people tell me na you've mentored a lot of writers and you've taught them well. So why don't you try teaching? And I said at that time, I thought it's a good idea. I want to share what I've learned and my experiences, and maybe even my war stories if the students care to listen. So that's more or less where I went to. I really want to transition to being an educator na. And I'm teaching one class and that's good. I'm not complaining kasi it's new. So there are many things I need to learn, and there's another learning curve that's very steep. So I need to go through the motions of learning. I enjoy it very much. I enjoy interacting with students. The first few lectures were a little hard din kasi and I think we will all agree that you had these questions in your mind. What is what I'm doing right? Diba? So, but you just forge on, continue on. You keep reading, keep studying. You become a student na rin also eh. That's the good part. But sometimes talaga, if my classes are over and it's just me and I don't have any lectures to prepare, whatever, I think about, it'd be fun to get back out into the beat. Diba? I'm sure Don't tell me, Paul. That thought has never crossed your mind. I'm sure you.
Until now.
Exactly, diba? I still like to think about the profession. I still like to think about stories. Maybe there's one more good story inside of me. Maybe not, diba? When I'm out in the street, I grab that opportunity because it's so hard to go out into the streets na because of the fear of the virus. But when I'm out there, tinetreasure ko yun. I really see if these things that I see are actually stories in a way. Like for example, I was just buying barbecue from a tindera, from an eatery, and then she was giving out pala free food for delivery riders. It's really flattering to see the reaction of the people, even from my own colleagues. And it made me think, maybe dangerously, that there might be still a big story inside of me. But parang okay, let's cool ka lang, chill, di ba?
Nabalik ka pa, sir, no?
Honestly, Paul, I have some options, possibilities, but I'm still studying it. If we're thinking about going back to media, we have to think about why do we want to go back ba? I tell my students the most important of the 5 W's and 1 H is the why eh. Why do we want to go back? Kasi we miss our faces on TV, yun lang. We miss interacting with the people in power. I mean, that's it. Do we miss telling stories? Medyo okay. Or do we miss trying to make a difference in people's lives? Do we miss making a difference in other people's lives by speaking truth to power? Diba? So I think it's very important to realize why do we want to go back eh. And then maybe if in the deepest recesses of your heart you think na it's just this reason, this mababaw reason, then maybe you will think twice about going back, diba? I'm too old to think about ano pa ba kulang sa buhay ko. I have a great family. I have a good job. I'm learning a lot. I have great friends, not only from my old network, but from my other network and from the newspapers that I work for. They keep me grounded. They keep me thinking about many things about the profession. It is composed of the best in the industry, bar none. From the reporters to the producers, to the EP, to the people manning the newsroom. Of course, Paul, they are not perfect, diba? But I think they have their head in the right place. The newsroom managers know what they're doing, and they have their heads right in the correct place. The good part was that they had this culture of kapamilya. I mean, if you look at it from the outside, you think it's kind of silly and kind of parang melodramatic or whatever. But inside, they take that very, very seriously. And we felt talaga a family. Each time that people beat them down, they always get up because of that kind of strength of character. Kasi dala nila yung history ng network eh. Tuntungan nila yun eh. That's their foundation. I believe that like the phoenix, they will rise again. They went down during martial law. They stood up again and they were stronger. And I kept telling the people, when I was there, I kept telling the people around me that if we survive this, if we rise again like the phoenix, we'll be so much stronger. Nothing can stop us.